So, Seattle Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf might be on the market to get traded. He is entering the final year of his contract, and it's a pretty rich deal. He signed a 3-year, $72 million extension in 2022, and his cap hit for this year is $31.8 million. So, definitely a pretty penny there indeed. And from the Seahawks perspective, I'm not sure if they're going to re-sign him at the conclusion of the 2025 season. So if they're kind of unsure, it would make sense to move him rather than just him walking away for absolutely nothing. So if they could get back like a second round draft pick, like a 2 and a 3, I think I would definitely do it. But I think for DK, the Patriots and the Packers are probably offering maybe a 3 and a 4, something like that. And those are the two teams that are reportedly interested in him as of today, the Packers and the Patriots. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But as far as DK Metcalf as a player, when he's on, he's on. He looks really, really special, but I feel like he's pretty inconsistent in my opinion. And I don't really think he's that elite wide receiver one in the league at all. He's definitely not a top 10 guy. I think he's more like in the top 25, top 30 range. Still a great wide receiver for sure, but I don't really think he's worth a monster contract or anything like that. And the other big fish that could be available is T. Higgins. And if I'm the Patriots, if I'm Drake May, if I'm Bob Kraft, what have you, I think I'd much rather go with T. Higgins than DK Metcalf. Both are great, but I just think I've seen more from T. Higgins and I trust him a lot more. DK also can have stone hands from time to time, and T has had his fair share of injuries, but in my opinion, I just trust him more. I feel like he's more of a playmaker that you could actually rely on as a wide receiver one. And granted, T. Higgins hasn't been in an offense where he's a wide receiver one yet. DK has. So if you feel the opposite of me and you would rather have DK Metcalf over T. Higgins, I 100% get that. But that's just how I feel. Let me know if you agree with me at all. Now, if you're the Green Bay Packers, I think they're definitely in the market for another wide receiver. I think I'd rather just go with Devontae Adams. So I think I'd rather just have a reunion with him than bring in DK Metcalf. I definitely think Devontae is still a better wide receiver than DK right now for sure. I don't really think that's an argument at all. And honestly, this might be a bit of a hot take, but out of all the wide receivers that may or may not be available for this upcoming offseason, I think I'd rather have Chris Godwin over DK. I know Chris Godwin, very injury-prone player, but when he's healthy, when he's going, an elite wide receiver. So let me know if you agree with me there. Would you rather have Chris Godwin or DK Metcalf on your team? Let me know in the comments. And I'm curious, Seattle Seahawks fans, how do you feel about DK Metcalf? Do you think the Hawks should trade him? Do you think they should keep him? And do you think they should pay him after the 2025 season? Let me know in the comments below. Now, a year ago, he had 992 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns in only 15 games. So not bad, not bad. And granted, he is playing with Geno Smith too, so, it's kind of hard to give him a full evaluation. Geno Smith isn't a complete scrub, but he's definitely in that kind of average tier of NFL starting QBs. I'm sure his numbers would look a lot better if he was in Buffalo with Josh Allen. And, if I'm the Bills as well, I would definitely kick the tires on what the Seahawks are trying to get for him, because DK to Buffalo, I like that, man. I definitely like that a lot. And I'm curious who the Bills will add to their wide receiver room, because I definitely feel like they need to do something. You have Coleman, They just signed Shakir, so I feel like to get another established guy in there that maybe be a bigger wide receiver like DK, I think he would fit the build perfectly. And it's kind of funny too, DK Metcalf and the Patriots already have a pre-established connection. Back in the draft, the Patriots actually passed on DK Metcalf and instead they drafted N'Keal Harry, which was one of the many busts in New England in the past 10-15 years. So definitely a swing and a miss there in that Bill Belichick era. We'll see, man. We'll see how it all plays out. And hypothetically, if they do trade DK Metcalf, you have JSN there. I think that guy can easily be a top 10 wide receiver in this league very, very soon. He looked electric last year, and even in his rookie year, showed a lot of flashes. You could see the potential. It was just all over every single game. And I really feel like he took a really big step a year ago, and I expect another big step for this upcoming year. So in the wide receiver department, they're good. They're also kind of considering parting ways with Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's been a beast there in Seattle forever. I feel like he's been around there for like 10, 20 years now, but he's definitely lost a step. So we'll see what the Seahawks do with Tyler Lockett. I'm sure all Seahawks fans kind of understand the situation. Great player, just has gotten a lot older, and it just might be time to part ways, unfortunately. So maybe some musical chairs with the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver room this upcoming offseason. Definitely something to pay attention to. But I've touched on this in a previous vid of mine that I just posted. Apparently, the Seahawks are in negotiations with Geno Smith about a contract extension. That to me is just asinine, and they shouldn't do that. I don't know why they would even entertain that. Did they watch him play last year? I know he's a leader. I know he's beloved on that team in that city. I understand that, but like, come on, bro. You're not winning a championship with Geno Smith. And I forget who said that. I think it was either John Schneider or Mike McDonald. He had a quote saying, yeah, we could win a championship with Geno Smith. Spoiler alert, you cannot. You cannot. And I feel like every Seahawks fan over the age of 12 can vouch for that. You cannot win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith, let alone make it to NFC Championship game. It just won't happen. You know, I was happy when they brought in Sam Howell, and, you know, the action he did get a year ago, kind of in a tough spot, especially that Sunday Night Football game, playing against a playoff team, under the lights, did not look great. I'm curious to see if he could make any sort of improvement for this upcoming season. But I really think they should bring in another QB, draft another QB, bring in like a Justin Fields, a Zach Wilson, as kind of like a backup plan kind of project, because Geno Smith is not the answer, man. He's just not. So let me know what you think about the Hawks and everything else in between. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It would help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.